Hello, welcome to the discussion of chapter number 2, Land, Soil, Water, Natural Vegetation and Wildlife Resource. In this chapter, we are going to learn about development and the awareness towards the resources conservation and take initiative towards conservation process. Understand the importance of the resource in our life, and also we are going to learn about the importance of proper use of resource for sustainable development. First, we are going to talk about the most important resource, that is land. Land is a very important natural resource and it covers 30% of Earth's surface. And not every part is habitable cause for the uneven population in certain parts is varied characteristics of the land and the climate. This means that some areas of the earth are more populated than the others because of the climatic and other conditions. Areas that are sparsely populated or uninhabited are of rugged topography, steep slopes of the mountain, low-lying areas which are susceptible to water in the case of flood. Densely populated areas are plains, like northern plains in our country, the northern part of our northern India, river valleys. These lands are more suitable for agriculture since they have the regular source of water and they are more fertile than the comparison to the other part of the land. Uses of land. The land is used for different purposes such as agriculture, forestry, mining, building houses, roads, and setting up of the industries. This is commonly termed as land use. Physical factors determining the use of land on the basis of topography, soil, climate, minerals, and availability of water. Human factors that are human determinants of land use pattern are population and technology. So here we see how these two factors, the human and physical, segregate the use of land according to the various aspects. Land can also be classified into private land and community land on the basis of ownership. Private land owned by individuals, whereas community land is owned by the community for common uses such as collection of fodder, fruits, nuts, or medicinal herbs. Like I can give you example of private land can be your house, right? And for the public place, or I can say for the common use, can be the park. The park in your locality is a communal place where any individual can go and use that park for the purposes like playing, for the walk, or anything else. Conservation of land resource. Ever-growing population and their growing demands lead to large-scale destruction of forest cover and other natural resources. Meanwhile, given below are the common methods used to conserve land resource like afforestation, meaning the planting more and more land reclamation. This means that the land which is not being inhabited or not in the proper use is being used under this. Regulated use of chemical pesticide and fertilizer. This means that regulating and controlling that how much amount of the pesticides and fertilizer are being used on a particular piece of land. Checks on the overgrazing. Some areas somehow fell under the this problem of overgrazing where the herds of the cattle overgraze the particular piece of land, which can also lead to the land destruction, or in a way it can deter the condition of the land. Now coming on to the another important aspect of the conservation of these resources, that is soil. As you can see in the diagram too, the topsoil is with humus and vegetation where all the green part is there, then the subsoil with the sand, silt and clay. Also then the yellow portion here in the figure, weathered rock material, and the last and the deep one, that is parent rock. The thin layer of grainy substance covering the surface of the earth and closely linked to the land and landforms determine the type of soil. Soil is made up of organic matter, minerals, and weathered rocks found on the earth through the process of weathering. The right mix of minerals and organic matter make the soil fertile. This means that soil which we see in our surrounding, or we have seen the soil which is there It is something, it depends totally on the weather conditions of that particular area. The soil varies in its texture and its content depending on the landform too. Landslide. The mass movement of rock, debris or earth down a slope is known as landslide, and it often takes place in conjunction with earthquake, floods and volcanoes. Meanwhile, a prolonged spell of rainfall can also cause a landslide. It comes under the natural calamity and it can be termed as a natural disaster. Coming on to more close to the discussion of the soil and how it is formed, the nature of the parent rock is the one of the factor. Other than that, climatic factors, topography, role of organic material, and time taken for the composition of soil formation. All these together are the factors which led to the formation of soil. In this diagram, we can see that factors affecting the soil formation in a more elaborated detail. Parent rock, it determines the color, texture, chemical properties, and mineral content and permeability of soil. Relief. Relief is an altitude or the height, and slope determine the accumulation of a soil. Flora, fauna, and microorganisms affect the rate of humus formation in the soil. Time determines the thickness of a soil profile. Climate, temperature, rainfall influence the rate of weathering and humus formation. Now, coming on to the last part of the discussion of soil, that how it is being degraded and what can be the measures to control the soil deterioration. Soil erosion and depletion are major threats to the soil as a resource. Both human and natural factors can lead to degradation of soils. Factors which lead to the soil degradation are deforestation, overgrazing, overuse of chemicals, fertilizers or pesticide, and rainwash. Also, landslides and floods can be the other factors which speed up the degradation of soil. The methods of conserving the soil from getting degraded will be discussed in the next video. Thank you.